it's does my heart good that we have so many people and had so many people in the room this past Saturday during our national co-host. We had guests in the house, and have you ever? And for those of you who are not familiar with Car Clinic, I'm a car person. And I have a passion for automobiles, and I have a passion for automotive service, for new cars, for used cars. I also have a passion for renewable energy. So if you wanted to go and talk into that direction with biofuels and ethanol and biodiesel and wind energy, all those sorts of things, I think that's very important. I will certainly can go there. I will share with you that, and I've got a document that Shell just released that I think is very telling. And I'll get into that a little bit later. But first, I sincerely appreciate each of you who took the time to come in. And I'm getting feedback on that, Bill. Who took the time and came in here. Thank you, sir. I appreciate Saturday from 10 till noon, which is our national program, your time and energy and your participation, because we had some guests in the house. And do you ever recommend a restaurant and someone says, oh, go over to Joe's or Gary's or to the Roadhouse? I don't know if you've ever been to the Roadhouse in Cabo San Lucas in Mexico. It's the place that you'd like to go. Latitude 22, by the way, is the name of it. And you go there with your family or your friends or whomever, and the food turns out to be lousy. And either you don't hear about it or you don't hear good things about it, or you're there with them and you know it's a bad experience, and that happens. So when we had these very important VIPs come in from Kimberly-Clark, and yes, they are sponsors, not by a long stretch a big sponsor, but important, because we have a 5-year. We've been together for 5 years with this company, and I just love the Kimberly-Clark products, and they're global. And what was really neat was that Dale called from the UK on his nickel, actually called in TitanFM.com, and that really was important to me. So Dell, if you're listening, or if for those of you who are familiar with Titan FM in the UK and are listening now, what a pleasure it was to hear from you. And C means Cynthia, by the way. That's her nickname to me, C. I don't know why we don't let her use that on the air. She's Car Clinic on the air there on Paltalk. It was through Paltalk that I met many of you, and I want to thank Gary Baumgarten, Boaz, and all of the great staffers and admin at Paltalk, because what you have created, I don't know if you knew this. Were you that smart? I mean, I know we're all think we're pretty smart. Like in the movie with Paul Newman, when the judge told him, when he had arranged all these things, was it Absence Without Malice? I think that was the name of it. But the judge looked at Paul Newman, who had arranged all these and put all the ducks in a row and what have you, and he turned to Paul Newman. He said, "Are you that smart? Are you really that smart? Well, don't get too smart, because I'm smart too." So, Gary and crew, are you that smart? And when I say, did you ever think, and be honest here, did any of you ever think that Paltalk would be such a community, global community, interactive? We've got a hand up, so we're going to take the first hand up. Who's the first hand, Bill? And then we've got several hands up. I'm glad that you cammed and you hammed and what have you. Who is our first guest in Bobby Likis Car Clinic here on Paltalk today?
Our first one up is going to
Ali.
Ali, we're coming to you.
Coming to you, Ali.
Hello. Hi, sir. How are you?
You're on. Yes, you're on the air.
I just got a small question.
Yes.
I'm in the UK right now in London, and I really love to buy in American cars, and I think they are cheaper in America. I just want to know if I can go there and buy cheaper cars. Would it be cheaper if I buy in America the American cars?
Oh, I would definitely. You can come to America because the automotive industry right now in America is in the dollar. I mean, so that's an easy question to say yes. However, let's say we've got the car. Oh, and by the way, here's my smart, and I've got to do this for you. That's the little smart car that I bought in Italy, and actually, my smart car now is in Houston, and it's to be delivered. So, if you have questions about the smart car,
isn't that, Bobby?
I'm sorry.
It's the same size as that one, isn't it?
No, it's not the same size as this one, Bill. Bill says it's the same size as this. No, it's 3 times as large. I can get my foot in it. Actually, it's 8 feet 5 inches long. But to answer your question, Ali, you certainly, it's a buyer's market in the United States. You can find cars online. You can buy cars online. Here's the challenge. How do you get the car from the U.S. to the U.K.? What's that going to cost? And if you spent, let's just pick a number, $10,000, and you've saved $3,000, but it takes $2,500 to get the car shipped, plus all of the taxes that are due. So I'm not in the car sales business. But if we have someone who is in the, quote, international car sales business to comment, that would really be a plus, and maybe you could answer that question. In the meantime, I want to welcome our a special guest, Gary Baumgarten. Gary, it's great to have you in our house. This is actually our room in your house, really.
It's your show. You're bringing us great content here, and I wish I could take credit for Paltalk, but that was really Jason Katz. I'm a latecomer, a relative latecomer to it all. But I recognized it for what it was, and so did you. One of the people in the room, the nickname is the musical one, has no microphone and asked that I ask this question on his behalf. He is a first-time car shopper, and he wants to buy his first car, a previously owned vehicle. He wants to know whether he ought to be purchasing it through a dealership or directly from an owner selling it.
That's a great question, Gary. I would recommend when you buy cars, and the exception would be in the state of Massachusetts and maybe other states that I'm not familiar with, if a car sells for more than $1,000 and you buy it from an individual, that individual, you have recourse, which means that if it's misrepresented, you can have recourse against that person. I will tell you, if you buy a car,